What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so this is a video request I got from a subscriber that wanted me to do a comparison between Vince Carter and Ray Allen. All right. Now, I don't think I've done a video on this particular topic before, but I remember having a discussion about this years ago, and I remember coming to the conclusion that I thought that Vince Carter had the better peak, but Ray Allen had the better career. That's the conclusion I remember coming to years ago. I guess I'm gonna look at the evidence to see if I come to the same conclusion. All right. So let's look at their resumes. Well, first let's look at Vince Carter. Vince Carter was a 6'6", 220-pound guard who sometimes played small forward. He was drafted back in 1998. He was the 5th overall pick in the first round. He was drafted by, I believe, the Golden State Warriors, but he was traded, I believe, on draft day for Anton Jameson, who actually was his teammate in North Carolina. He was traded to the Toronto Raptors. And of course, early on in his career, he was a superstar, or at least the league was trying to push him as a superstar. And I guess for the most part, he met that criteria the first couple of years. For his career, he played for the Toronto Raptors from, it says 98, but really because of the lockout and the shortened season, I think his season started in February of 99. So really from 99 to 2004, he was with the Raptors. Then he had a 5-year stint with the Nets. Played one season with the Orlando Magic, one season with the Phoenix Suns, 3 seasons with the Dallas Mavericks, 3 seasons with the Grizzlies, 1 season with the Kings, and 2 seasons with the Hawks. And of course, Vince Carter holds the NBA record for most seasons played with 22. And he's the only NBA player, well, I'm trying to think about this. He was he's the only NBA player to play in 4 different decades. I had to think about that for a second. He's the only NBA player to play in 4 different decades: the 90s, the 2000s, the 2000 teens, and the 2020s. He made the 2020. Career highlights and awards. He was a 8-time, NBA All-Star. He was on the All-NBA second team in 2001, All-NBA third team in 2000. It surprises me that he was never on the All-NBA first team. He was a Rookie of the Year in 99, so of course he was on the All-Rookie first team. Slam Dunk Contest Championship in 2020. That's probably, in many ways, the highlight of his career from an individual standpoint. I mean, that's what we thought at that time, that Vince Carter was going to be like one of the greatest players of all time. When he had that performance, unbelievable. And he's largely considered the greatest dunker of all time. He won the Sportsmanship Award in 2020. He was Teammate of the Year in 2016. I'm just going to keep it to NBA stuff. Averaged 16.7 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, 3.1 assists per contest. Playing on all-time hurt his averages, of course. Scored 25,728 points, grabbed 6,606 assists, and dished out 4,714 assists. And he also won Olympic gold in Sydney in 2000, and won the FIBA Americas Championship in 2003 in San Juan. In Sydney, that's when he had that unbelievable dunk on 7'2" Frederick Weich. We all remember that when they were old enough to remember that. One of the great dunks of all times. Now, I want to try to determine what his prime was. So, I mean, you can kind of go, what, 99 to maybe, let's go 2007. So in his prime years, Vince Carter averaged 24.6 points, 5.4 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 1.3 steals, 44.6% shooting from the floor, 37.9% from three-point range, and 79.4% from the charity stripe. And let's check something else. Vince played in 1,541 games, which is second all-time to Kareem's 1,560. Shot 43.5% from the floor for his career, which is a bit on the low side. Part of that was playing in a defensive era, but also as he aged, Vince, the reason why he was able to play for so long is because Vince would have the occasional dunk, but became more and more and more and more of a jump shooter. Wasn't driving to the back. For a guy with his athletic ability, he didn't drive to the basket as much as you would anticipate. You know what I mean? Especially, I say after 2003, maybe. And then, afterward, he was more or less a jump shooter. Once he started having jumper's knee, some issues with his knee, he just completely changed his game and became more of a jump shooter. Which he became a really, really good three-point shooter for his career, 37.1%. But, from just checking some things out here. Like I said, for his career, 37.1%. But I want to see something here. From 1999, to 2013. For that stretch, come on, he shot about 38% from three. So yeah, about the same. He had a couple years shooting 40+% from downtown. Ray Allen, a shooting guard, 6'5", 205 pounds, was drafted the 5th overall pick as well in the 1996 draft, the draft that many of us consider the greatest draft ever. And of course, he played 7 seasons for the Bucks, 4 seasons for the Sonics, 5 seasons for the Celtics, and 2 seasons for the Heat. So he played about 18 seasons. He was a 2-time NBA champion, a 10-time NBA All-Star, All-NBA second team, All-NBA third team, so he was never first team either. He won the NBA Sportsmanship Award in 2003, won the three-point contest back in 2001, NBA All-Rookie second team in 97. He's on the 75th anniversary team, which is something that eludes Vince Carter. Was a UPI, oh no, that's college, so I'm not going to read that. Averaged 18.9 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, 3.4 assists. Scored 24,505 points. Corralled 5,272 rebounds and dished out 4,361 assists. And won the Olympic gold in Sydney as well. Won the gold in the Summer Universiade in Fukuda in 1995. That wasn't that wasn't when he was an NBA player, and won the FIBA's Americas Championship in 2003 in San Juan, as Vince Carter did as well. And check out some stats. Ray Allen played in exactly 1,300 games, shot 45.2% from the floor, which for his era was efficient. Shot 40% from three, which for any era is efficient, but especially efficient in the era that he played in, and was an 89.4% career free throw shooter. And Ray Allen in his prime, let's go 99 to 2007. In those years, he averaged 23.3 points, 4.7 rebounds, 4.1 assists, 1.3 steals, 44.9% shooting, 40.2% from the 3 point line, and 89.4% from the arc. And as great as Ray Allen was as a free throw shooter, he never led the NBA in free throw percentage. It's a little bit shocking to me. Um, from 2002 to 2014, Ray Allen was a 90.5% free throw shooter. One of the great free throw shooters ever. I kind of come to the same conclusion. Um, Vince was a more dominant offensive player, obviously. You know what I'm saying? In his best years, Vince had improved his outside shooting after his first year. I think his first year he was like 28% 3 point range, but after that he was like 40% the next season. But anyway, Vince was a guy that was explosive, obviously. Um, Improved his range as his career went on. Became a really good 3 point shooter. More consistent from outside as he got older. Um, Very, very explosive. Tremendous leaping ability. Could take over a ball game when motivated. And that was one of Vince Carter's weaknesses, is that there were times when he was not motivated to be his best. And he admitted that in an interview after he was traded to the New Jersey Nets. I believe he was traded to the Nets. I forget whether he was signed as a free agent. I think he was traded to the Nets. But he admitted in the interview that there were times that he didn't play very hard. And that angered a lot of NBA fans. It angered a lot of Raptors fans who kind of suspected that was the case with him. And that hurt his brand. It definitely did. It hurt his brand. I remember a particular game. This was like 2002, I think it was. So this is when the Raptors were like considered an up and coming team. Uh, and they were playing the Washington Wizards, and Michael Jordan was there. And I remember Vince Carter and the Raptors dominating the first half. This is when like having a 23-point lead was big because the pace was slower. They weren't shooting as many threes. It was much harder to just overcome big deficits back then. And Vince was like extremely dominant in the first half. I think Vince had like 19 or 20 points in the first half. Something like that. I think he had 23 points in the first half. I think he scored 19 in the first quarter, 23 in the ball game. And they were up by like 20 or something. And, they were talking crap or whatever. And I remember in the second half, Michael Jordan switched on Vince Carter. Now, remember, mind you, Jordan might have been 39 at the time. And Michael Jordan shut Vince Carter down. Shut him down. Because you remember at that time, people were really big on comparing Vince to Mike. And even saying Vince might be more athletic, Vince is a better shooter going in, so he has the potential to be better than Mike. So Mike took that personally. And I think Mike wound up with like 23 points in that game. Vince, I think, scored maybe 4 points in the second half. And the Wizards came back to win that game. And it wasn't even that particularly close. And I remember looking at Vince Carter in that game. And I don't want to just put it on that game, but I remember looking at Vince and thinking to myself, he ain't that guy. He's not that guy. He's not. He's a bit of a front runner, but when pushed, he's not that dude. He's more of a. He has superstar potential. He has that superstar game and abilities, but I think he's more comfortable as a sidekick. That's the impression I started getting from him immediately at that moment. And that kind of fit the mold because some of his most productive years was when he was with the New Jersey Nets, when he had Jason Kidd leading the way. Jason Kidd was the leader, you know. Um, Ray Allen, I'm not saying was a leader, but I thought Ray Allen was a little bit more mentally stronger than him. That would make sense growing up as an Army brat. Um, you know, Vince wasn't a great one-on-one defender. You know, that was a weakness in his game. Not that Ray Allen was a lockdown defender, but I thought that Ray probably at least put in more effort. And Ray, even though Ray was a shooter and more of a mid-range shooter than Vince was, Ray was more efficient. Even with all the threes he took. Remember, he was the all-time leader in 3 points and three-pointers made until a couple of years ago. So the fact that he was more efficient is shocking to me. Another stat that throws me is, despite the fact that Vince Carter was so athletic and naturally bigger than Ray Allen, their rate are about the same. You know, you would think, as athletic as Vince was, he could have averaged at least around 5.5 to 6.5 rebounds, but he didn't. And that's just a testament of how, with rebounding, man, it's a lot about desire. It's about desire and wanting it. And Vince was a guy that had a deliberate and steady pace as his career progressed. And that's why he was able to play 1,541 damn games. You know, when you play that long, you're either blessed. In some way, you're blessed. Kareem was blessed because the last 9 years of his career, he didn't have to pound the boards like he did before. And I think that probably gave him a couple more years of play and more years of efficacy. Look how that wore down Moses Malone. Now, Moses played 21 years, but the last 7 years or the last 9 years maybe of Moses Malone's career, he wasn't the same guy. You know, so that does take a toll on you. I got to come down with the same conclusion, man. I just think Ray Allen, the championships, clutch performances, I just think that he's had a better career, obviously, top 75. And while Vince was very, very exciting at one point, I just don't think that he lived to his potential. I don't think you can say that about Ray Allen. I think most people say Ray Allen lived up to his potential, if not overachieved. With Vince, he underachieved. I would even argue that he underachieved more so than Tracy McGrady. Because people get on Tracy McGrady, but Tracy at least had the excuse of injuries. Vince played on some more talented teams for longer stretches, in my opinion, than Tracy McGrady did. You know what I'm saying? And people get on Tracy McGrady, but Tracy had legit injuries after 2007, 2008. Vince was relatively healthy, played with Jason Kidd, played in Dallas, played in, Orlando. Was Dwight Howard there? Yeah, Dwight Howard was there, so he played with Dwight Howard. He played with Dirk Nowitzki. He played with Jason Kidd. Now, he was with Toronto. They were a great team. But there were some good players around him. Some of them years, obviously. You know, I don't know. I gotta go with Ray Allen there. But tell me what you guys think.